Hello. In this video, I'm going to do a chi-square goodness of fit test exam style question using TI Nspire calculator. I'm going to go through everything you need to know and do to answer chi-square goodness of fit test. Here is our question, and you can find there is a streaming platform claiming that genres watched by its users are given here: drama, comedy, action, documentary, and here are the percentile values that are given. Then there is a researcher investigating whether that platform's claims are true or not using a random sample of 250 users. And here is the result for that investigation. Here we have 4 really typical questions related to goodness of fit test: stating null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, calculating expected frequency values, then doing the actual test using calculator. And let's go through these parts A, B, C, and D, how you would answer those questions. We will start by stating null hypothesis and then alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis is given in a question. So that is those proportions given in a question, and null hypothesis is that those proportions are true. So that drama would be 35%, comedy 30%, and so on. So this is how you would answer null hypothesis. And alternative hypothesis is basically the opposite, saying that the distributions for those genres are not following the platformer's claim. Then there is a question about expected frequency value, and this is something we would anyways have to be calculating before we start using our calculator. And expected frequency values are calculated with the percentile values that are given in a question, and also that we know that in this random sample there is 250 who were randomly chosen to this survey. So here are the calculations for each of these genre, and it's a percentile calculation. So drama, it's 35%. So we calculate how much is 35% out of 250, and we get this 87.5. And same way we calculate these another genres to get these expected frequency values, which we will be using next with our calculator. And in your calculator, you always start this way when you have a goodness of fit test. So you will choose the spreadsheet and list icon down over here. And we will start by naming those columns so that we don't forget that. So you have to name these columns. So I will have first observed frequency values, and then we have expected frequency values in this another column. Observed frequency values always has to be given in a question. And here they are. So we start typing those numbers. 120 is the first one, 50, then 40, and then 40. And then we type in those calculated expected frequency values. And first value is 87.5, then we have 75, 50, and 37.5. And now we have both lists ready. And then actual calculations, you will choose any empty cell from here, and you press menu, choose statistics, statistical tests, and from here you find chi-squared goodness of fit test. Then we choose observed list, that's OBS, expected list, And then there's a question of degrees of freedom. And the way you calculate degrees of freedom is as follows. You have 4 alternatives here: drama, comedy, action, and documentary. So degrees of freedom is always 1 less than your options. So in this question, degrees of freedom is 3. And then we just press OK. And here are the values we need to make our conclusion. So we will start with chi-squared value over here, 22.57 and so on. And here is our answer for chi-squared value. And remember to give your answer in 3 significant figures, 22.6. Then we use that value to make our conclusion. And we have been given the chi-squared critical value 7.81. So we compare our 22.6 into that value, and we can see that, well, 22.6 is greater than 7.81. This means we have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis. That's how the chi-squared value works. If the calculated value is greater than the given critical value, we will reject the null hypothesis. And then you will answer or state your answer in the context of the question. So the distribution of Kenres is different than platformers claim. And something important here, you can make the conclusion also use p-value. You can find p-value from your calculator is 4.96 times 10 to the power minus 5. And you can use p-value also to make our final conclusion, but you would have to remember how p-value works. Now, since p-value is smaller than the level of significance that was given in a question to be 5%, so we compare our p-value into that, and we will, of course, come to the same conclusion. We have enough evidence to reject null hypothesis. So this is all you need for chi-squared goodness of fit test done with the TI Nspire calculator. See you in the next video.